What is going on, Colts Nation, and welcome back to another episode of Bring the Juice. Well, guys, the Indianapolis Colts have now just finished their first preseason game of the 2025 season, so we are going to break it down and talk about some of the good and some of the bad here from the first Colts game, knowing the Colts have two more games here of the preseason before they kick off their season at home against the Miami Dolphins on September 7th. So, with that being said, Derek, let's just get the bad out of the way. The Colts obviously didn't win this game, so there's probably going to be a little bit more bad than there is good here. And when you're talking about the bad, I think you have to start with the big thing, the big story, the Anthony Richardson injury that happened on the second series of the game. And it's very unfortunate because I felt like when Anthony Richardson was in there, he actually had some pretty nice passes. He had a couple nice passes. I think it was a big one to A.D. Mitchell. He had a couple good passes there, and then unfortunately, a free rusher comes, and Anthony Richardson didn't see him at all, and goes down, injures his pinky. They called it a dislocated pinky injury. It was popped back into place. The good news with that is that he was throwing, doing some warm-up stuff, so hopefully that's a sign of good things, but we'll just have to see on that. I mean, regardless of how severe it is, Derek, an injury is never a good thing. So that's definitely a big bummer there. And then JT Tuimoloau also got injured as well a little bit later into the game. And we'll talk about him in a second, but just two injuries to some players that you think could really be key contributors. And we'll just kind of see on the severity of both these guys.
Yeah. You obviously don't want to have any more injuries through preseason games if you can help it. And obviously, as you said, two more key players here going down on top of the injuries that you're already having. So definitely a concern. Again, the AR injury, it is what it is. I don't think he'll miss much time, barring, any more medical exams that he gets. We don't know the severity of JTT's injury yet. But certainly hope that we'll get good news on those here in this next week.
Hopefully neither is too severe and they're able to be ready to go, maybe by the second preseason game or at the very bare minimum regular season. So we'll hope on that. So that's definitely unfortunate there. And then I think when you actually get into some of the play, it was kind of a poor night, honestly, from this Colts starting, if you want to call it that, offensive line tonight. Really just two starters out there. You had Tanner Bortolini and Matt Gonsalves, and then you had Jalen Travis at right tackle. You had Dalton Tucker at left guard, and then you had Blake Freeland at left tackle. And it just felt like Derek, and part of that with the Anthony Richardson injury, it just felt like the offensive line really struggled tonight. Specifically when you're talking about opening up some running lanes, it really didn't seem like, whoever it was, whether it was Tyler Goodson, whether it was DJ Giddens out there, didn't really feel like there was a lot of running lanes tonight, and that was against some backup guys, which is definitely, especially for guys like Gonsalves and Bortolini, definitely not great showings from them tonight. And then you throw in the fact that, Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones both had some pressure tonight. Definitely wasn't a great showing from this offensive line.
No, it wasn't. Obviously, again, just the blocking in general, not protecting your quarterbacks very well, and not being able to run the football very well for the majority of this game either. So, dare I say it, piss poor showing today from the offensive line. I mean, obviously, like you said, the majority of the offensive line was not playing in this game. So, the situation definitely would change a little bit when, some of those guys were playing. But you're right. Like when it did have two starters right away, and Tanner Bortolini, who also, by the way, was having a very difficult time with his snaps early in the game too, was also having problems. And, Gonsalves had a penalty or two. And, all in all, just offensive line wise, just not what you want to see in a performance like this.
No, not at all. Not at all. So definitely not a great day for the offensive line. That's for sure. Especially some of those guys that could become key contributors in a hot minute. So you definitely want to see them bounce back here in preseason game number 2. And then as you continue on, the run defense was just as bad, Derek. The run defense was poor, and I think that's putting it lightly. So many missed tackles, whether it was the starters out there, which really Kwity Paye was the only starter out there today, but whoever the starting lineup tonight wasn't great. I mean, the edges weren't great. There was a lot of missed tackles. I mean, whoever it was running the football for the Ravens, they seemed like they got 5, 6, 7 yards every single time they touched the football. And it just was almost reminiscent of the Colts 2024 defense with the missed tackles. It was just not a good performance from guys, and especially some of these linebackers that are competing for that number 2 linebacker spot. I mean, it was just not great in that department from really all sides of things.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at just the running backs today for the Baltimore Ravens, I mean, they had 36 rushes for basically 162 yards. So that is about easily 4.5 yards a carry, and had 2 touchdowns today as well. So Dearness Johnson had 3.2 per carry. Rasheen Ali had 4.1 a carry, and Keaton Mitchell was averaging 6 or 7.5 per carry. So, you're right. Whoever was out there defensively trying to stop the run was not doing a good enough job at it. Obviously, we said it before, it will matter a lot having Grover and Defoe in the middle, but yeah, that definitely was not a good showing, especially by the edge group, for the backup edge group in regards to being able to stop the run.
Yeah, no doubt at all. It definitely was a uninspiring performance, to put it lightly, from that group. No doubt about that. All right, the last thing I want to talk about, and this wasn't even bad. This was god awful. And I've got to say it, Brian Mason, count your days, man. That was a horrendous performance from the special teams, from the coverage unit especially. Just so bad. Like, so many times when the Ravens just took, like, nobody could tackle, first off, and it just seemed like the Ravens would just get these multiple just returns on returns, and they would just continue to get these crazy good field positions. And the special teams was bad today, just really, really bad in terms of coverage.
Yeah, I mean, it was really bad today. I mean, if you just look at just some of the returns here, I mean, Rasheen Ali had a kick return today that, he took it 69 yards, almost took it to the house. And then the average kick return after that was about 23. So overall, the kick returns weren't atrocious outside of the one that you had, which is still way too many. You can't give up any good kick returns in order to, and especially in tight games and situations like that, where you need to be able to have the kind of field position that you want, and the Indianapolis Colts weren't able to take advantage of it because of that. And then, like you said, the punt returns today. I mean, Wester averaged 35 yards a return today, Cody, and he had 3 returns today. He took one that was 87 yards for a touchdown, but he also had another return that I'm fairly certain he got at least 15 out of. So, I mean, again, so in total today, you had 3 returns for the Ravens that were just the result of piss poor play. I mean, and that's not good enough. That's not good enough, and it's really bad. And I don't even care who it was that was doing it. That just should never be allowed to happen like that. So it was definitely not a good time for the special teams, outside of, if you want to say, Spencer Schrader, who obviously missed a 52-yard field goal today, but made 3 others, and one of which was a 53-yarder. So, Schrader had himself one heck of a day, having to, kick 4 field goals in a preseason game. So, yeah, the special teams units is 100% going to need to be revamped.
Yeah, putting it lightly, it was really, 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 really bad. So, Anyway, that does it for the bad guys. Let's move on to some of the good. There was some good, believe it or not, in this game. Let's start with AD Mitchell, man. This was the guy that I was kind of wondering, like, is he going to continue it into the actual game settings? And we've been hearing about it for practices. We've been hearing about it in training camp. Like, we've been hearing all this stuff about this kid, AD Mitchell. To his credit tonight, he was good again. He showed up. He had some big catches. He played a lot in that first half. And I thought he responded really, really well, Derek, when given the opportunity.
Yeah, it's crazy. It says that he was targeted 6 times today, Cody, and only had 2 catches. Now, obviously, a couple of those, some really bad throws from a couple different guys. We talk about that one throw where he had his man beat by a step and a half, but Daniel Jones was getting pressured up the gut and didn't step into the throw to hit AD Mitchell in stride, and he just couldn't get it. And there were a couple other times, again, a couple other passes where, AD Mitchell was just completely blanket covered, and, Daniel Jones just had to throw the football to him. But the 2 catches that he did have, like you said, that first pass of the game with Anthony Richardson, great catch there, and had a good one for Daniel Jones to get them inside the red zone. I mean, again, I know Adonai Mitchell can get it. I know he knows how to play, and I know he knows how to get open, and I know he knows how to catch. You just got to put it all together. And definitely showed that today that, he has that ability. You just got to find him.
Right. I believe there was another pass that he had that there was a penalty that brought it back. So he had another really like 10 to 15 yard catch that got brought back today. So,
Yeah.
The stats will tell you that it didn't look good, but I really do think AD Mitchell had another good, strong day today when targeted and actually on target. Like he made the catches that he needed to. So thought that was good. I did think also his running mate, Ashton Doolin, tonight played really well. He had a couple really, really nice catches. Actually led the Colts in receiving tonight. He had 3 catches for 54 yards in this game. So I really felt like he did some really nice things there for the Colts. And, I'm really excited to see if the Colts are going to get Ashton Doolin involved at all this year, because I do think he does have a lot of upside at wide receiver. I just think he just has been buried on the depth chart. So I'd be curious if they, get a couple snaps for him each game, because he's shown he's got some serious speed, Derek, when you get the ball in his hands. So can you utilize Ashton Doolin in some ways this year? Definitely a strong performance from him tonight.
Yeah, definitely a strong performance. It's great to see him be utilized in such a wide receiver heavy role, and definitely feel like he can definitely do that as long as things go his way.
And then, of course, Tyler Warren as well had a really good performance tonight. He had 3 catches for 40 yards, and every pass that he caught, he really felt like he was just doing what he needed to do, man, catching the football. He's going to be so reliable this year. I'm so excited to have a player at the tight end position like Tyler Warren. He's already showing out. So what can you say about Tyler Warren other than not surprised at this performance?
Yeah, I mean, he flashed, man. I mean, he showed you that he's going to get open and he's going to make some plays, man. I mean, he definitely has what it takes to, be a good player right here in this league right now, and super excited to see where he goes from here.
Absolutely. 2 other guys I want to talk about, 2 guys on the defensive side. I already mentioned JT Tuimoloau, who unfortunately got injured, but Derek, before he got injured and went out of this game, JT Tuimoloau was having a really, really good performance tonight. And when you kind of pull up the stats for JTT, so he had 2 tackles tonight, 2 tackles for loss, and it had a sack as well and a pass defense. So JT Tuimoloau was really making some plays there down the stretch. Again, he's a little bit buried on the depth chart right now with just the sheer amount of defensive linemen you have at that edge position, but really felt like JT Tuimoloau showed you why the Colts took him in round 2, because he flashed tonight in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, he made a lot of great plays. I mean, every single play that he made was either a tackle for a loss or was, impacted the play severely. So it was great to see him do some good things tonight for sure.
And then the last guy we got to talk about, as bad as the Colts defense was at times, I felt like Hunter Wohler continues to make a really strong case for the final 53-man roster. I mean, he led the team in tackles tonight. Just feels like he's always around the ball making plays. And especially, Derek, with the lack of depth at that safety position, it really does feel like Hunter Wohler has a really good opportunity here to potentially take it. Because let's be honest, Rodney Thomas was awful tonight again.
Yep.
So there's a real, chance here that Hunter Wohler could be that third safety. I mean, there's a realistic chance of that.
Yeah.
I thought he put in a pretty strong performance tonight and just continued to show flashes. I mean, we saw and heard what he did in that Baltimore scrimmage. He had 2 picks to Lamar Jackson. And so you kind of look at that, you say, okay, Hunter Wohler is a young kid that's very athletic. He's making that transition from backer to safety. He may play a little bit of backer as well, but he's got that versatility. He's got that athleticism. So can he be another late round find there? And so far, he's looked the part so far for the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, I mean, it was great to see him, racking up the numbers in that way. And, he's just that workhorse back, man. I certainly hope that he will continue to keep doing what he's doing. And, the more tackles he can accumulate, the better he's going to look coming into this season for sure.
I think there's a pretty strong chance, honestly, he makes the final 53 man. I would not be surprised at all. He continues to build that case for sure. But guys, that really does it here for this Colts first preseason game, the good and the bad. Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below on this. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to hit subscribe. Turn on that notification bell, all that good stuff. But again, guys, that'll do it for this one. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, guys, go Colts.